Horror, a genre that delves into our deepest fears and anxieties, has captivated audiences for centuries. It is a realm where the unknown and the supernatural come to life, challenging our perceptions of reality and pushing the boundaries of our imagination. From the Gothic novels of Mary Shelley, who introduced us to the tragic tale of Frankenstein, to the chilling narratives of Bram Stoker's Dracula, and the contemporary chills of Stephen King's IT, horror literature has evolved, yet its core essence remains the same. Horror literature has provided a unique avenue for exploring the dark side of the human psyche. These stories delve into themes of fear, guilt, and the unknown, often reflecting societal anxieties and personal phobias. The transition of these terrifying tales from page to screen has further amplified their impact, bringing to life the nightmares we often keep hidden in the shadows. The visual and auditory elements of film add new dimensions to the horror experience, making it more immersive and immediate. Stephen King, a master of horror, has seen numerous adaptations of his novels and short stories grace both the silver screen and television. His prolific output and the adaptability of his stories have made him a staple in the horror genre. His works, with their relatable characters and intricately woven narratives, have resonated with audiences worldwide, cementing his status as a modern-day icon of horror. King's ability to tap into universal fears and craft compelling stories has ensured his enduring popularity. The exploration of successful and unsuccessful adaptations, particularly within King's vast repertoire, offers valuable insights into the complexities and nuances of translating fear itself from one medium to another. The success of an adaptation often hinges on the director's vision, the screenplay's fidelity to the source material, and the performances of the actors. The allure of horror adaptations lies in their ability to tap into our primal instincts, confronting us with the unknown and the unsettling. These films often play on our deepest fears, whether it's the fear of the dark, the fear of the unknown, or the fear of death. Whether it's the psychological torment of a haunted house, where every creak and shadow can send shivers down your spine, or the visceral terror of a relentless pursuer, horror films have a unique way of engaging our senses and emotions. Horror, in all its forms, has an undeniable hold on our collective imagination. It is a genre that continues to evolve, reflecting the changing fears and anxieties of society, yet its core appeal remains timeless. The thrill of being scared, the adrenaline rush, and the cathartic release that follows are experiences that keep audiences coming back for more. Horror novels possess a unique power to immerse readers in their terrifying worlds. The moment you open a horror book, you are transported into a realm where the ordinary becomes sinister, and the familiar turns into something to be feared. Through vivid descriptions and evocative language, authors like Stephen King can conjure up chilling imagery and palpable tension, making the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. Each page turned is a step deeper into a meticulously crafted nightmare. These stories leave a lasting impression on the reader's mind, lingering long after the book is closed. The fear and unease seep into your thoughts, making you question the safety of your own surroundings. The written word allows for a deeply personal and intimate experience, as readers are encouraged to fill in the blanks with their own fears and interpretations. This personal engagement makes the horror feel more real, more immediate. The act of reading itself becomes an exercise in imagination, where the reader's mind is the stage and the words are the script. Each sentence builds upon the last, creating a vivid mental movie that is uniquely yours. As the words on the page act as catalysts for our own internal visualizations, we find ourselves lost in a world that is both terrifying and fascinating. The power of imagination transforms simple text into a living, breathing nightmare. We become active participants in the storytelling process, creating the monsters in the shadows and the unsettling environments that serve as the backdrop for these chilling narratives. Our minds fill in the gaps, making the horror feel personal and immediate. This level of engagement and active participation is a key factor in the enduring appeal of horror literature. Discussing these books with others can also enhance the experience, as sharing interpretations and fears can make the stories even more compelling. The absence of visual cues, a defining characteristic of literature, becomes a strength in horror writing. Without concrete images, the reader's imagination is free to run wild, creating scenes far more terrifying than any movie could depict. The reader is left to their own devices, forced to confront their deepest fears in the confines of their own minds. This internal confrontation can be more unsettling than any external threat. This absence of concrete imagery allows for a more personal and subjective experience, as each reader brings their own unique set of fears and anxieties to the table. The horror becomes a mirror, reflecting the darkest corners of our psyche. As each reader brings their own unique set of fears and anxieties to the table, the horror story becomes a shared yet deeply personal journey. This collective yet individual experience is what makes horror literature so compelling and timeless. Certain horror adaptations transcend the limitations of translating from one medium to another, achieving both critical acclaim and enduring popularity. These adaptations manage to capture the essence of the original work, while also leveraging the unique strengths of the cinematic medium to create something that stands on its own. Stanley Kubrick's 1980 film adaptation of Stephen King's The Shining stands as a prime example of a successful adaptation, albeit one that deviated significantly from its source material. Kubrick's vision brought a new layer of psychological complexity and visual artistry to the story, making it a landmark in horror cinema. Kubrick's film, while not a strictly faithful adaptation, managed to capture the essence of King's novel, translating its psychological terror and unsettling atmosphere into a visually stunning and deeply disturbing cinematic experience. The Overlook Hotel, with its endless corridors and haunting ambiance, became a character in its own right, amplifying the sense of dread and isolation. Similarly, the two-part adaptation of King's epic novel IT, 2017-2019, captivated audiences by bringing to life the terrifying entity known as Pennywise the Dancing Clown. The filmmakers took great care in casting, special effects, and narrative structure to ensure that the horror and emotional depth of the novel were faithfully represented on screen. The filmmakers' understanding of the source material, coupled with strong performances and effective visual effects, resulted in a faithful and terrifying adaptation that resonated with both longtime fans of the book and newcomers alike. Bill Skarsgård's portrayal of Pennywise was particularly noteworthy, bringing a chilling and unforgettable presence to the character. The success of these adaptations can be attributed to several factors, including a deep respect for the source material, a clear understanding of the core themes and characters, and a willingness to embrace the unique strengths of the cinematic medium. Directors and screenwriters who approach adaptations with a genuine love for the original work often find ways to enhance the story through visual storytelling, sound design, and pacing. When executed effectively, horror adaptations can serve as compelling companion pieces to their literary counterparts, offering fresh perspectives and interpretations while remaining true to the spirit of the original work. They can introduce the story to a wider audience, sparking interest in the source material and creating a lasting impact across different forms of media. The best adaptations honor the original while also standing as remarkable works of art in their own right. The perils of adaptation, challenges, and pitfalls. The Dark Tower. Adapting a horror novel for the screen is no easy feat. The challenges are multifaceted, ranging from condensing complex narratives into a manageable runtime to capturing the often subtle nuances that make the source material so effective. Translating the internal monologues and psychological torment of a character's mind into a visual medium requires a deft hand and a deep understanding of both storytelling mediums. One notable example of an adaptation that faced significant challenges is The Dark Tower, 2017. Based on Stephen King's sprawling 8-book fantasy series, the filmmakers attempted to condense the vast mythology and complex narrative into a single film, resulting in a muddled and ultimately unsatisfying adaptation that failed to capture the essence of King's epic tale. The failure of The Dark Tower highlights the importance of understanding the limitations of adaptation. Attempting to cram too much material into a limited runtime can lead to a disjointed and incoherent narrative, sacrificing character development, thematic depth, and ultimately, the very elements that made the source material so compelling in the first place. Creative liberties. Reimagining horror for the screen, The Haunting of Hill House. While faithfulness to the source material is often lauded in adaptations, there are instances where creative liberties can lead to innovative and effective reinterpretations of classic horror stories. Mike Flanagan's The Haunting of Hill House, 2018, a loose adaptation of Shirley Jackson's iconic novel, serves as a prime example of how taking creative risks can pay off. Flanagan's series, while borrowing the basic premise and some character names from Jackson's work, diverges significantly from the source material, crafting a new narrative with its own unique mythology and character arcs. The result is a haunting and emotionally resonant exploration of family trauma and grief, proving that sometimes deviating from the source material can lead to a refreshing and equally terrifying experience. The success of The Haunting of Hill House demonstrates that adaptations can be successful even when they take significant departures from their source material. By capturing the spirit and themes of the original work while injecting their own creative vision, filmmakers can breathe new life into classic